In this video I'll be showing you how to draft the collar and the collar stand. So to do that you need the front and the back block. So if you put them together you can see where the collar is going to be. The shirt front on the left, back on the right. So when you're using your tape measure, don't hold it flat when you're measuring a curve. Put it onto its side and just feed it around so that you can accurately measure it. So whenever I'm measuring something, I always take it twice just to make sure. So I find my measurement, write that down, and then put it around a second time to confirm it. And if it's right, I give it a tick, and then I know that I've done it twice. Then do the same for the back. Tape measure on its side and measure it twice. So the front is 12.5, the back's 8, which is giving me a measurement of 20.5 centimetres, and that's for half of the collar, as we're going to be cutting the pattern out on the fold. So now I've got my measurement of 20.5. I'm going to draw a line. And this is for the collar stand. So I'm going to make that 3 centimetres wide. And then just square off both ends of that rectangle. So I'm going to be dividing this into 3 so that I can add a curve into it. So each section's roughly 7 centimetres. So I'm adding in front of each line, just putting a mark that's 0.5. And then just marking the centre back. So I'm cutting from the top nearly to the bottom of that line and of the next one. And by pivoting at the bottom and making the top of that line touch the point that I marked, that's 0.5 centimetres in front of the original line, it's just a nice easy way of adding a curve to this line. The button placket that's going to be on the shirt that we're making is 2.5 centimetres. So the centre front runs through the line where the buttonholes will be. So I need to add on 1.25 on the centre front of the collar stand. So this is a straight line, so I'm making sure I've got a right angle at the top and the bottom of that line. And now I've made sure that that's a right angle, I'm just going to add in a curve, as that's what I've chosen to have on the shirt that I'm making. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add a centimetre seam allowance. I'm not adding seam allowance to the centre back, as that's going to be on the fold of the fabric. And now that's all done, I can go ahead and cut that out. Next we'll be drafting the collar. So measuring the top of the collar stand up to the point where you've marked the centre front. So I've measured it once, I'm going to measure it again. And that's 19.5 centimetres. So I'm drawing a line that's 19.5 centimetres long. I'm going to make my collar 7 centimetres wide. So the bottom part there is where it's going to be connected to the collar stand. Then the angle and the shape of the collar, that's completely up to you. So I'm marking centre front on it. And then this will be the centre back. So a straight line there, and make sure you've got a right angle at each corner. And I'm writing my pattern instructions on here, so I'm going to cut 2 of the fabric on the fold, and then I'll cut 1 of interfacing on the fold as well. And then I'll be adding the seam allowance around 3 of the edges, but again not onto the centre back, as that's going to be cut on the fold. Then I'm cutting that out, and that's the collar stand and the collar pattern ready to be cut out of calico.